Hello, it's Phillip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking, and I'm looking at a book today from LexisNexis Butterworths. It's called Anthony and Berryman's Magistrates Court Guide for 2011, edited by F.G. Davies, and it's this book here with the green cover. It runs into nearly 2,000 pages, funny enough, although the pages, as you can see, are relatively small because it's really more of a law card type of structure. There's a good index right at the back, which is always worth looking at. And what you've got in the whole of the areas is a split up into the various types of offences. And it's set in the normal way with paragraph numbering at the sides, which also helps. And it gives you a whole series of both case law and statutes. As I say, the book has been around for some time now. There's a Flickr review there, and the written review that my wife Elizabeth and I have written is actually on all the main internet sites. We've given it the title, Remaining Straightforward and Concise. The 2011 law cards are the best for Magistrates Court professionals, and that's really what this book is about. Anthony and Berryman's, as I say, has been around for a while. This is the 2011 guide, and it's bang up to date. It remains the essential reference in one volume for practice and procedure, linked in a form of law card style system, which we liked for its ease of use with the concise commentary we need quickly without going to stones, which of course is the 3-volume heavy tome, for real detail, which you may need depending on the type of case you've got. This of course is relatively good because it actually has everything you need, but just in the one volume, and it does save a lot of time, especially if you've got a harassed clerk and you want to sort of move the cases on quickly. And as you know, in the Magistrates Court things do tend to move much more quickly than they do in the Crown Court. So therefore, if you're a Magistrates Court practitioner or you're associated professionally to the court in any way, you will need this annual guide, in our view, on your shelf. All the recent case law and statutes are in it, and in fact Mr. Davies has mentioned in the preface a number of the changes since last year, most of which are based on the end of the previous government's legislative programme. We've also got, of course, a useful statement on sentencing guidelines from the Sentencing Guidelines Council, and up the future we don't know what that will be, of course, but at the moment this is what the current law states. There are comprehensive tables of cases, statutes and statutory instruments in the volume, and also there's a very useful index at the back which I indicated. I think practitioners agree that this succinct, logically structured work of reference provides guidance on key cases and practice developments which we need. And there's a wealth of new material each year, and as I've indicated, look at the preface and you'll find the changes from the previous edition. Obviously there are useful things such as the youth rehabilitation orders, ASBOs, DBOs and everything else that are still in there as we await the outcome of the Ministry of Justice reviews, which will probably take another year. So this is very much for what we need at the moment. Do of course note recent developments, including things like the enforcement of contact orders, which of course again is something that the magistrates do cover. Many people sometimes think it might be the county courts, but of course it is the magistrates, sitting as a family proceedings court. Obviously breach of ASBOs is also a useful one. As I said, the Sentencing Guidelines Council is quite often something that would be of help to you. We've often wondered who Ernest Anthony and John Dennis Berryman were, because they began their long collaboration way back in the 60s, covering basically originally licensing, and the first edition of this complete work I remember seeing around about 1971, I suppose, when I first started the law degree and everything else that I did, and that was when I first attended court. The title of course has grown. It's a heavy book now, but there again you have to take into account the huge amount of statutes that we've had to deal with. Obviously the common law has been supplanted by statute to a certain extent, and that of course is another useful pointer for this particular publication. So we're glad that Mr. Davies has kept the title, as we still find the format of most assistants in that terribly short and pressured time when the justices are sitting and we've got to try and get our act together, and we need the information, of course, instantly. And really that's exactly what you get with this splendid 2011 edition of Anthony and Berryman. So thank you very much to the author, the current one, and also to LexisNexis Butterworth. Bye bye.